Oh my God. I am not ready as usual, but boy, I've got to start doing this. So, I'm going to have to start putting out some videos with crap production values because I have this problem where I kind of want it to be better, and I'm putting together a bunch of videos and I never actually get them out there. But yesterday, the weather was amazing, absolutely amazing. So we were looking forward to James' tour being on Smokey's channel. And it was about a he stopped in for about 20 minutes and he just said, the stuff he always says. He had no content at all. He went on with Tony for a little while, and Tony asked him questions, and Tony was pretty excited, which is understandable. It was kind of cute, actually. And I was happy to see that Tony asked him about microstates because Tony is still trying to understand why I called Tony Pudding Head and where the whole pudding thing started, but they don't quite get it yet. And that too is understandable because it's kind of it is difficult to think about abiogenesis and what's going to happen. But then the most amazing shit happened last night and yesterday. I think I insulted Smokey by telling him he basically couldn't logic his way out of a paper bag. Smokey doesn't know shit about logical discourse, even though he, like the rest of them, puts on a good show and really sounds like he does. But then when you actually listen to him argue with somebody, it's all manipulation and spinning from one topic to another and controlling the conversation as these crazy fundamentalists do. That's what they do. They get you and they control the conversation. They lead you down alleyways, and we're always on the defensive with them, and they're always attacking. They're never explaining why exactly the Earth is 6,000 years old and it cracked open like an eggshell and all this water came flying. I mean, they have the craziest shit, and they never explain it. They only attack evolution. So the whole dialogue has become them attacking, and it's it's amazing. But then, so I insulted Smokey, and then he started firing back. And every time I tuned into that stream, I heard they were talking about speed of pudding or speed of sound. They were talking about me. And I'm like, holy shit, it was kind of making me nervous. This has been the old days. They would have been outside with pitchforks and torches outside of my door. I mean, I really pissed everybody off. Uh, Amazingly, a little later in the night, and all through the night, they're making fun of me because I have a very small channel, no views at all. My views are crap. And they were going on about how insignificant I am and how they're really not, I really don't matter yet. In the first stream, they mentioned me 188 times in chat alone. I haven't counted how many times they mentioned me in dialogue. I mean, this is incredible. 188 times in the second one, it was 94 times. And here's what happened. So, somewhere in the chat of the after show on Logical, Plausible, and Improbable's channel, Sandy for Truth asked me if I want to have a conversation with Tangelo, and I said, yes, I do. I kind of would like to talk to him one-on-one. But I said it would be on my channel, on my terms. It would be controlled. It would be a discussion. Never said anything about a debate. So Standing for Truth started sending emails. Then he put up a show at 9 o'clock last night. I was supposed to debate Otangelo on his channel, in spite of the fact that I told him no so clearly, so perfectly clearly, that I was not going to do it. And I told him I wanted 24 hours, to set up, and I don't like doing things at 9 o'clock. Let's back up a little bit. When I was on Standing for Truth's channel a couple of times, like 3 times, and then I debated John Maddox. The first 3 times I was on Standing's channel, he insisted on doing it late at night after his kids are in bed. I mean, how fucking get a babysitter. They kept pushing me to late nights, and late nights, my brain just doesn't work. You can tell in my Saturday Night at the Atheist or any of my after shows that I'm fumbling for words, and Christ, I'm 69 years old, and I've stuffed my brain full of genetics and neuroscience for years and years, and sometimes at night I get tired. So anyway, I don't like doing it at night. But they forced me into it. on all three occasions, he forced me into it. The third talk I think I had with Standing was about chromosome 2, and I told him I wasn't ready. Because when I talk about something like chromosome 2, I actually like to do my research, and that takes sometimes months. But I went ahead and fell for it. He was able to manipulate me. And then the Maddox interview came up, or debate, and Maddox kept changing the time. He wouldn't settle on a schedule. He wouldn't do anything normal. Again, they were pushing me to later and later in the night. On the night that we actually did it, it came out of the blue. He started scheduling it, and Standing for Truth in this very belligerent way manipulated and forced, basically tried to shame me into showing up. And I thought, what the hell, I'll show up and see what happens. So anyway, it wasn't good. I wasn't able to control, or we weren't able to get a lot out of that debate, partially because I was tired and partially because Maddox didn't really expect to be talking to an actual programmer who could show him up for the charlatan, the fake that he is, the script kiddie, not a programmer, and somebody who knew genetics and had read all of some of the same little cherry-picked pieces that he was going to use on me. He didn't expect that. He was offended. And of course, that was the real reason that Maddox was pissed off at me. The rest of it was the miRNA thing and me asking him for sources, that sort of thing. But anyway, so last night, there's an email stream, and Standing for Truth sent me, I think, like 10 emails saying, oh, the show is going to be at 9. See you there. Here's the link. And in between, I was sending back emails to him, and I can show you my email, so I won't show you his. I'll paraphrase his. But my email said, no, I am not doing it. Let me be really clear. I am not doing it on your channel. I am not doing it tonight. I am not doing it with no notice. And he just kept doing it as if I hadn't even said anything. It was like I read this email to some people last night, and they were like, it's like he's not even reading your emails. He's not even listening to you. So they went ahead and set up this debate last night where, again, for the first hour, I think they talked about nothing but me. And it was absolutely fucking amazing. I mean, thanks, guys. I didn't think my channel was all that important to you, but apparently I triggered a whole hell of a lot of creationists last night. Speed of pudding, speed of, I don't know what else they call it. They invented like five new handles for me. I was studying, so I had the sound off because I couldn't stand to listen to this crap. On and on and on, insult after insult. So I had the sound off, and I would go turn it on every now and then because I was monitoring a few things on this stream, for my weather report and for my critiques. And every time they were still talking about me, and I'm like, holy shit, should I change my locks? Should I, put on some extra security? Man, I pissed them off. So I am going to have to look into all of this. And then later on, of course, they started having, they brought other people in, and they brought some pretty interesting people, which I'm going to talk about, I'm hoping, today. And Standing for Truth put up some of his crappy arguments, and Otangelo, and it just went on and on. So there's a lot of really good content that came out of it. I think they managed to have their little debate anyway. But yesterday, last night, I decided, fuck you, Standing for Truth. I told you no, like 10 times in 10 different ways. You didn't listen to me. I wasn't going to do what I normally do, and that is acquiesce and go on anyway, just because I don't know why I put up with him. But anyway, he's pissed off at me. We had a little email exchange this morning, and I think he said it's like ad hominem and offensive. Well, Standing ad hom is like about all I can do with you. I mean, your arguments are so crazy and off the wall and unfocused that it takes forever to unwind them and come up with reasonable content. I mean, goodness, dude, you're just a showman. You're like the ShamWow guy, the ShamWow creationist guy. Anyway, I am. P Tango 101 was very interesting, and I had not run into him before. When I looked at his site, he hasn't done anything for about 7 years, and I apologize for how dissociated this is. I slept late. I just got up. I have to do something. I have to start putting out content. These guys, the crap they're putting out, and the arrogance, and they're so sure of themselves. And yet they keep putting out the worst possible junk that I have ever seen concerning evolution and genetics. And it is time for us to come down and at least, even if it's rambling like this, I am going to talk about these, I don't know what the hell they are. Snake oil salesmen? I think they're snake oil salesmen for Jesus. Pretty amazing. Anyway, P Tango 101 did really good last night, and David was on there, and I thought he did really good too, and they asked some really good questions. Standing for Truth a couple of times, you could tell he was getting irritated because if you take him off his game, he's popping up little papers. If you start asking him serious questions, he will get a little bit, he tends to stutter a little and get a little nervous. And then, of course, he'll move the conversation on to the next thing. You'll notice that their entire tactic is to bring up one thing, get you talking about that. Then when you start digging into it, they will throw out 3 or 4 little pieces of bait for you, totally unrelated subjects. And then they'll kind of spin it, and then they'll claim that you're dodging because you never had the chance to respond to anything. Anyway, yeah, Standing for Truth's book is going to be the subject of, I think, I guess I can't announce it publicly, but there's going to be a concerted effort to go after his book. Oh, they kicked you off the stream, Ian? Yeah, I kind of saw where they were getting irritated with you, but I couldn't figure out why, because you weren't doing anything. I mean, you were just talking to them, but you were probably using logic on them, and they don't like that. So, I mean, it's just incredible. So they kicked you off. I'll have to look at that. Anyway, we'll be reviewing the chat for both of those streams, and if there's any content. Now, yeah, the other thing that was mentioned is Otangelo, that my criticism of Otangelo and James Tour and Tony and the rest is complexity, therefore God. And they said that was a straw man. I'm sorry, your argument isn't any deeper than that. I was polite, but yeah, you were just disagreeing with him. I mean, Ian Ken was on there, a whole lot of chats. You really held up well last night. I'm surprised you stayed on and put up with as much as you did. I will have to review all that. We'll be commenting a little bit. I think I'm going to do kind of like little short segments on little bits, and I am going to start talking about Standing for Truth's book today as it relates to the argument that he was putting up last night. And I apologize, it's going to be so crappy and dissociated. But so the weather report, I don't know. What else do we got going on? There wasn't much else that happened. Praise that I am had some crazy ass biblical thing up. Steve Ballman did another video. I'm going to do a link to that, hopefully. There was, let's see, what else happened yesterday. Modern Day Debate had something on alien abductions, and that's about it. So we had the James Stewart thing on Smokey's channel, the after show on Illogical, Implausible, and Probably Wrong's channel, and then where am I? And then we had the fake debate that Standing for Truth tried to shove up my butt. I'm not going to fall for it, but God. So now I'm a coward because I'm running from the debate. Oh, the other thing is Standing for Truth is making the case we won't get any views if we do it on your channel. Well, is it about views, guys? Oh yeah, the homosexual rant video. Yeah, praise that I am. He's got a 5 hour video up there where he goes on about buttholes in the Bible, and he says some really interesting and very, very lousy things concerning sexuality and the Bible. And it kind of shows one of the problems that I have with Christianity is that they are obsessed with sex. Sex and sin. For them, it's like the biggest thing. It's no wonder that they get caught in all these perverted acts. I mean, they have sex on the brain so bad. It's just horrible. Um, I can always mirror it. Let's see. Logical, implausible, and probably wrong. Illogical, implausible, and probably wrong. Anyway, yeah, God is obsessed with sex. God really wants to know what you do with your butthole and what you do with your genitals. Just horribly obsessed with it. I wonder. That's kind of a Western disease, I think. The disease of Western man, the sins of the flesh, and material, and uh, anything pleasurable is sinful, and sex is like the most sinful of all. Just horrible. So, got a lot of work to do. I don't know. I'm gonna have to, like I say, do very small segments on very small pieces. One of the first things I think I want to look into is Standing for Truth a little bit on how apparently all of the fossils that we found in Africa are somehow deformed human beings, with genetic entropy. And when he starts talking about it, it makes absolutely no sense. Saturday night at the Atheist tonight, we're going to be reviewing all of this bullshit tonight, I hope. I don't know, Ian, if you want to be there, let me know. I will send you a link and we'll put you on. I'm not sure. You probably sound like an Aussie. I'd love to talk to you at some point, privately or publicly. I mean, you have been a really great supporter of this channel. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, Neanderthals were deformed humans, and I think I don't know what the Denisovans. All of the fossils in Africa, and the case he makes for it is so bad. I call it chicken picking, where they'll pick a bunch of quotes and they take these little nuggets and they throw them out. There's just like, here's this and here's this and here's this. And then they'll come up with a conclusion that has absolutely nothing to do with the papers they put up. Pretty horrible. Yeah, time difference is horrible. I don't know how you guys don't fall off the earth down there. I've been pondering that for some time. Anyway, second viewer for your stream. Yeah. Oh, Smoky Saint is here. Oh my God. So now I have two people watching. Yeah, they're making the case that Smoky Saint and Standing are the only people that actually watch my stream. In the end. So welcome, Smoky. I have been looking at some of your so-called rational arguments against atheism and naturalism, and they just don't hold up at all. I mean, I can't get any traction with them. You don't have an argument, Smokey, and you're not as good at logic and reason as you think you are or claim you are. So I'm on the Smokey list. Sort of like that. I don't know. He offered to take me off, and we could have taken it up a level, but I had decided over the last week or two, it has been coming to the point where I decided not to talk to them anymore, but to talk about them. And the reason for that is every time I or someone else goes on one of their streams, they control the conversation and they spin you in circles and never allow you to talk about anything, just like happened with Tony. I was spun around so that I could never quite explain where I was coming from in abiogenesis. So we never actually had a conversation. And yeah, ad hom is all you hear because we get a little frustrated. You're telling me you never made any ad hom attacks on me, Smokey. Your bullshit about Hitler and Nirvana. I mean, that was the most unreasonable crap I've ever heard. How you ended up where I'm some sort of a garbage character, okay, because I'm an atheist and I believe Hitler is dead. I mean, I belabored this point quite a bit. Uh, it didn't make any sense, Smokey. You kicked me off your stream because basically I'm an atheist who believes Hitler's dead and other people are dead and we're all dead the same. Like as an atheist, I'm supposed to think Hitler is somehow deader, or somehow Hitler is being tortured while he's dead. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Yeah, you're a goddamn moral nightmare, Smokey. I mean, Jesus. Some of the stuff you've done, you have your little pet atheist of the week, and I admit I was your pet atheist for 3 weeks, but, and then you take them out and you club them over the head. Yeah, Smokey, you are the king of that, I mean, God, the way you're doing. And I guess you think you're a saint and you're on some kind of mission against atheists, right? So, oh my goodness. Anyway, who's the rage quit guy? Let's see. Is that Smokey? So I think I'm going to end this and try to do a little bit of work on the channel today, maybe a few small things, and then we'll have Saturday Night at the Atheist tonight. Oh, who is that Hom? Yeah, who is that Hom? It's like, who is John Galt? God, you guys don't give us a lot to work with. For one thing, you don't know the subject matter. You're pretending to know science. You've got this whole biblical bullshit interpretation of science, and none of it makes any sense. It's so hard for us to actually get past the insanity of your arguments. We usually come up with, you guys are idiots. What else are we going to do? Amazing. Anyway, guys, I'll see you a little bit later.